Hey, what's going on, 200K fam? Hope you guys are doing great tonight. So, got some news. It looks like, by all intents and purposes, that my deployment here is over on Monday, and looks like I might be going to North Carolina after this. So, I'm actually excited to be moving on to something else. Although it's been a great deployment as far as being able to share it with you guys. It kind of wasn't the deployment I was hoping for when I took it, but you know what? We take the good with the bad. Looking for the next opportunity in North Carolina. So, just to let you guys know, we are talking about part 3 of our networking series. Last time we talked about some conversation skills that you guys are going to need to have. You're going to build a good, strong network. If you have not watched that video, you need to go watch that video and learn those skill sets. Otherwise, the information I'm going to share right now, which builds on that, even though it's still useful, it won't be as useful as if you go and watch that previous video. So, as always, as I say, networking is about building relationships. It's what we do for the other person, not just what we do for ourselves. Networking is not just you begging people for opportunities. And that's what a lot of you people are doing, even on Facebook. I can see it, how you guys are just begging for opportunities. That's not how you build relationships. It's not how you network. Remember, you can ask me all day long if I know of an opportunity, but I don't know you. I do not know you. What you're asking me to do is to put my reputation on the line for you, and I have no idea if my reputation is going to be protected or if it's going to be tarnished based on you, a person I do not know. So, if you want to do networking well, it actually takes some work. It takes building relationships. Sorry, that guy is people these days. Anyways, I guess he's got somewhere to go. But you got to build relationships if you're going to do networking right. Solid networks are like wells in the desert. You have to dig your well before you're thirsty. You get out in the middle of the desert and you don't have a well that you can draw from, that's the time to be digging it. You're going to die of thirst before you reach the water. So you have to dig your well before you're thirsty. That's why you need to start networking now, even though it's a slow season. Even though it's been kind of a busy slow season, it is a slow season, so you need to start working on your networking skills now, okay? So go watch those last 2 videos. We're on part number 3, which we're going to be talking about how to carry on a conversation. So the last one we talked about some conversation skills. Now we're going to be talking about how to carry on a conversation using the F.O.R.M methodology. That's F-O-R-M, F.O.R.M, okay? So you guys who are not comfortable in having conversations with people, you need to write this stuff down. This will help you guys tremendously. It's how I started. I used to be very introverted. I used to say I was so introverted I couldn't lead 2 people in quiet prayer. Right? I was that introverted. I couldn't lead 2 people in quiet prayer. So, but this methodology really helped me out, and I hope it'll help you out as well. So the first letter in the F.O.R.M is F, which stands for family. So when you're having a conversation with someone and you're trying to build commonalities, which you need to go back to our last video and learn about commonalities, why that's important. Family is a great place to start to learn how to build commonalities. Now, all of these letters are going to be supported by your 5 questions, right? How, when, where, what, and why. How, where, when, what, and why, right? Those are your 5 question starters. How did you meet your spouse? Where did you take your family on vacation? Why do you guys live there? Those types of questions, right? When did you guys move to this area? Those are your 5 questions, and your topic is, for number 1, is going to be family. Family is a big deal for most people. It's one of the, actually all 4 of these is how people draw their identities, but family is a big part of that, right? So family. Number 2, occupation. Remember, we're not just out there networking with other adjusters, right? We need to be networking with multiple types of people in different occupations. The more different people we know, the possibility of different types of opportunities in our future, okay? So first is family. Second is occupation. What do you do for a living? How did you start doing that? When did you first start your career as a banker, as a whatever, right? How, where, when, what, why? Why did you pick this field? Right? That's a good one. So first one is family. Second is occupation. Third one is recreation. What do you like to do in your spare time? People love talking about what they do in their spare time. Hey, how did you become a world-class hunter? Or how did you start, how did you start skydiving? How did you start mountain climbing? When did you start getting interested in skiing? Those type of questions, okay? Now, remember, conversations are both for learning and sharing. So if you ask somebody about their family and they talk about their family for a few minutes, guess what you're going to do? That's right. You're going to answer the same questions you're asking. So if you ask, hey, when did you move around here? And they answer, when they moved their family there, guess what you're going to respond back with? Oh, that's interesting. We moved here, XYZ. If you ask them why they moved there, guess what you're going to answer, or guess what you're going to share after they answer? Why you moved there, when you moved there, how you decided to move there. Okay? Now you're sharing and receiving. Sharing and receiving. You're building commonalities. And again, you need to go to the last video and learn why that's important. Commonalities. So family, occupation, recreation. Now this last one, especially if it's a person who is driven to help people, this is a very important one. Mission. Their life's mission. If you know somebody who volunteers, or if you know the person you're talking to is a volunteer at a certain project, there's probably a story behind the reason they volunteer. If they have their own charity, there's probably a story behind why they started that charity. Okay? Now, you don't have to have a charity. So we talked about a second ago, you're answering questions that you're asking, but each one of us have a mission in life, right? That's what we talked about the other day too, when we were talking about setting goals, having define what your legacy is going to be when you're no longer here. That's your mission, okay? How are you going to accomplish that mission? That same idea is going to relate here with somebody else's mission in life, okay? So those are your 4 questions: family, occupation, recreation, and message. You're going to continue the conversation by asking those questions. How, when, what, where, why. The question you ask them, if it's a how question, you're going to share a how answer to the same question. Okay? That's how you're going to keep the conversation going. Now remember, based on our last video that you need to go watch if you haven't seen it, and you probably need to go watch it again even if you have seen it, you want to make sure that you have the conversation ended 5 minutes before the other person is ready to leave. That means you need to be checking body language, okay? So part of conversation skills is not just sharing and receiving, but it's also watching body language. Guess what? If the person keeps looking at their watch, subconsciously what they're doing is they're rearing up to be ready to go. Guess what you need to be thinking about? Hey, it's about time to wrap up the conversation, okay? Remember, conversations build relationships. It's really commonalities build relationships, but you only find commonalities through conversations. And that's why these last two videos are very, very important for you guys. If you're not comfortable in having conversations, you need to just go watch these videos over and over again, and then you need to go start practicing. Because I guarantee you, on your first deployment, you're going to need these skill sets to network with the other adjusters on deployment. Those other adjusters more than likely will have opportunities for you in the future. You need to learn these skills. All right. So hope you guys are doing great tonight. We're going to have one more final networking video for this series here that I'm going to do here in a couple days. So I hope you guys have found this to be beneficial for you. Also, if you want to talk about some topics that you have questions on, feel free to leave a comment below. Also, like and subscribe, but leave a comment below on any topics that you guys want to talk about in the future. I had somebody who asked me to do a series on how to talk to public adjusters and contractors. So if that's a conversation you want to have, or if there's any other conversation you guys want to have, even if it's, what licenses should I get first, what tools should I get first, that kind of thing, leave a comment below. Don't leave it on Facebook. Leave it here in the YouTube channel. The reason being is that helps with the algorithm. Facebook really doesn't like it when we draw people away from Facebook and go to YouTube. Unfortunately, that's where all the connections are right now, but we need to start trying to get more of the conversations that happen over on YouTube instead of Facebook, just for the algorithm. So anyways, appreciate you guys. Hope you have a great night, and we will talk to you later.